my friends, happy Monday. I know Facebook's terrible about telling you that I'm here, and I'm sorry if it doesn't let you know and you don't find us till later, but that's okay. No worries. We're also live on YouTube, and sometimes that's easier because I only have one YouTube channel, and you don't have to go wandering around wondering where I am. So if the easiest way to find that is to just click on my link that's right there. Well, it's under me. It's not over there. It's under me, what you're looking at. And down at the bottom of the page, you'll see our YouTube, and you just click that, and it brings you to the link, and you can just subscribe there. Everything that I do these days is uploaded there. If I do a short little video, and I'm doing something almost every day, depending on how the world goes and what life says, but I'm trying. That's my intention when I get up in the morning. So today we are going to do a fancy fold card. I have been racking my brain how to do something a little different than just my norm, which is layered cards. I was looking to grab one. I like layered cards. I really do. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I just like them. You know, like come down here for a second. Ignore what's below me. Like you just start with a 4 by 5 1/4, and then you build with designer series paper. You know I've been showing you these, right? I love these. Here's another version of it, or this one. Like super simple, right? Okay, well, but I wanted to go a little above it, but not go cuckoo crazy. So we are going to be doing a fancy fold a week. Each week I will show you how to do it, and I will make it for you in a variety of colors and designs and images. So this is a basic. Pretend this circle is not here, and we'll stop when we get to that point so you can see what I mean. And you can add anything onto this front. Tonight we're still coloring. I've been coloring for a few days. We're still coloring. So we're going to color, and we are coloring the Trucking Along bundle, which is still available in the catalog, and I'll show you that. Let me take you over there. Remember, you just go to Cara Miller, and then you'll click on shop. That's the paper that we're using, the Berry Christmas. It's got these sweet little bears on it. I've pre-cut them. Remember I showed you this before too, and I'll put the link to where it is, but I cut my designer series paper into pieces that are card size, and they're ready to go. See, they're right in here in this little box. So I have mine all cut, so I can just grab a piece and start working. This was the 12 by 12, and I cut it into, let me take 2 of them and I can show you. 4 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4. So I just cut 3 strips of the 12 and then cut across, and lickety split, I have card pieces ready to go. It makes it much simpler, and I'm all about keeping it easy. So let's first we're going to work on our card, and then we'll get the fancy stuff that goes on top. All right, so we don't need you guys right this minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I was going to show you the trucking, wasn't I? Sorry, I got distracted. So when you're coming into the Stampin' Up shopping site and you're not sure where it is, just type in up there. Oh, if I spelled trucking right, there's only 1 R in it. It'll also tell you that you can't spell. And you'll see, here's the bundle. This is the one that I'm using tonight. And it's the stamp set and the punch. $41.25. Okay? All right, so come on back. So that's what I'm going to make this little piece out of. But in the meantime, we want to talk about how to make this fancy fold card that looks really cool, really steps up your card making, but it's really not hard. So let me show you. First things first, and I have these pictures, and I will post them for you later so that you will have them so that you can do this. These are, I don't want to distract you with all this other stuff. All right, so This is going to be your card base. You're going to start with 5.5 by 8.5. That's what this is, right? And then you're going to score it at 1.25 right here and 4.25. So then your card is, there's your card base, okay? See? That's how it starts. Super simple. All right, so there's that, right? Then, remember I told you about the Berry Christmas. You're going to need a strip that's 1 by 5.25, and you're going to need 2 of those. If you take one of those pieces, here's a blue one that I can show you, and you cut your 1 inch off, you're going to have this plus 1/4 inch, plus an extra. So you need 2 of these to make this card. That helps. 1 by 5.25, and then the pattern paper, you need 2 3/4 by 5.25. Hey, Susan. And then I also added, and this is optional, you don't have to do this, but having this piece, which is the same size, 2 3/4 by 5.25, allows you to do your card itself out of another color cardstock than just white. So then you would have white in the middle, all right? Tonight we're just going to do white. Later this week I'll show it to you with a different color. All right, so that's all the cutting that we have to do. I'm going to put these little Post-its over here, and I will share this with you later after the video. So if you missed it, don't worry. And we are going to put our card together. So the first thing we're going to do is take this 1 inch strip, and we're going to take our seal. Come on. And honestly, I could use the other side too. The other side's kind of cool. I'm going to run this down. And I'm going to center this right in the middle of that strip. Okay? Then I'm going to take this one. Now, I'm kind of a matchy-matchy girl, so I'm probably going to turn it so they match, but you could do it this way too. See, so the stripes go together, and I need the stripes to match. And this is going to go inside here, again with the same spacing all around it, eyeballing it. And then you go right down there. Then this little baby is going to go right on the edge here with the same spacing, top and bottom and side. Right? And then one more, and it's going to go over here. And now I have assembled my card, so it's going to look like I'm like really cool, and it really wasn't hard at all. This is going to go right here. Now, see where that extra white piece is that I saved? I told you about? This is going to go here. This is really nice if you're using a different color cardstock as your base, but it's also kind of cool because we're going to stamp here, and if you have a boo-boo, you can fix it without having to redo the whole card. So this is what our basic fancy fold card looks like before we've added anything to it. Okay? Really simple, but so cool and so much above just a plain layered front. I love layered front cards. I do. But I like this too, and it adds a little oomph to the card. Now we're going to put that inside. We're going to stamp our sentiment, and I am in love with this stamp set. I've been using it a lot. It's called the Brightest Glow. It just has really great Christmas sentiments. Depending on what you put on the front, there's some you and yours this Christmas, let your heart be light, all is merry and bright, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do hoping your Christmas shines bright with the love of family and friends, which is right here. Now, I've got this little piece right here, and I'm going to stamp this up here so I have room to write my little note, sign my name, all those things down at the bottom. All right. And I'm going to stick with my Memento, even though I could use lots of different colors, but I'm only going to use the one ink because I'm using the Memento in my coloring. So stamp this up. Make sure that your ink is all over it where you want it. Remember, when you're stamping, no rocking. Just straight down. Even, Steven, and stamp. Now, what if it was icky? What if it didn't come out right? I could simply flip her over and no one will be the wiser. I'm okay. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add this to the front. Now I could have lived life dangerously and just stamped it in here. In fact, I did on the card that I made as my sample. But I feel better having this little bit of extra cushion. So now I'm ready to decorate the front of my card, and I'm going to use this circle, and this is another product that I love and use constantly. But you could use anything. If you don't have this circle, you could cut. You could just cut a square. You could use your trimmer. There's lots of other shape dies, but this is the one. It's called Stylish Shapes Dies. It has great shapes in it. They're really useful for lots of different things. There's a circle. There's some squares. There's these little pennants. Variety of sizes. Works great. So this is the circle that I used. And it looks like it's stitched around the outside, gives it a little extra. That's going to be where my truck's going to land. All right? So I've already colored this truck, and I showed you the video last night how to do this. If we have time at the end, I'll do a quick one just to refresh you. But basically, our truck's going to go there as far as it can go. What I learned when I was making the other card is I'm going to stamp my sentiment first, because if you look real close, you'll see that I stamped it actually on the truck, just on the wheel, on the edge of the wheel. I thought I was okay, but you know I wasn't. So I'm going to do that first, and then I can position my truck around it. Again, Memento, and this is Wishing You a Festive Christmas, which is from the trucking one. So if you only have this one, there's things that you could stamp too. Wishing You a Festive Christmas could go on the outside. Every Day's a Fresh Start could really go on the inside. Or you could just write your note and not really worry about an inside stamp if you don't own Brightest Glow. Or maybe you have a different sentiment stamp that you like. So I'm going to do this down as low as I can and still get all of the words on. No rocking, just nice and straight. Love it. Okay. Now there's one more thing I need to stamp, and that is the pine tree. See the Christmas tree right here in this? I stamped it and then I put the truck on top. Okay. So I need to figure out kind of where does it go. So Wishing You a Festive Christmas is going to go inside the truck, not under the truck, which I almost did before. So that means that my tree needs to go right in here, right? All right, so how's that? I'm going to line that up so I get it where I want it. Make sure I look down. My hair's probably under you. Stamp this tree. Get my head in here so I can see where it's going to go. Move my truck. All right, let's see. Is this going to work? Sure is. We're going to be fine. All right. Now, because that doesn't really look like a tree, but it will in a minute, I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends. Remember we talked about these. They come in they come in two colors. Same color, two shades. We have a light Mossy Meadow. Oh, I grabbed the two wrong ones. Sorry. And a dark Old Olive, but I want the same two. We'll go with light Mossy Meadow and dark Mossy Meadow. All right. I start with the light first and then add the dark and then come back with the light to blend. So I'm going to start with the light. And because this is small, I am going to go with, this is called the bullet end of the marker, and this is the brush end. See, it's longer. Can you see that? And that's good for bigger spaces that you're coloring. In here, I'm really just doing the tree. The tree, so I want a little more control. And I'm just going to go over the whole inside of the tree. Now, if you look in the stamp set, you'll see that there is another stamp that fits this that you could stamp if you are not a blends or not a coloring person. I like coloring. What am I doing wrong here? Those of you that have been watching me. I should have a piece of paper under my tree in case it bleeds through to my desk. Sometimes, see the markers go through? And sometimes they go through and end up on your paper. So, okay, back to coloring. And it's really kind of a little dab will do ya, and it doesn't leave lines. It really doesn't. It might look like it when you're doing it, but if you let it sit for a second and come back, it'll be gone. Now I'm going to take the dark one, the same end, and I'm going to go over the highlights that the stamping artist, the person that drew the stamp, wanted us to see. And I'm going to let the artist decide where the dark one goes. It's much easier that way. And just kind of add a little bit of darkness to give it a highlight and low light. And then come back and go over it with the light one, and it will blend them together. It's magic. I told you on my blog that I used to, well, I still am, but I was a Copic instructor, Copic markers, and I learned how to do that. But there were 87 million colors. Green had about 20 to pick which was the right one, so it was kind of a project. This is just super simple. So Mr. Truck is going to go right there, and it's going to look like the trees in the back of my truck. And then I'm going to add it to the front of my card. This one I colored yesterday with Sweet Sorbet. I think I called it Cherry Sorbet. It's light and dark sweet sorbet. And I'm going to put you right down on the edge of my tree so it looks like it's in my truck, right? And then if you want to, I took some, because you can never have too much bling, some rhinestone basic jewels. Hey Susan, how are you? And I'm going to just put 3 of them just to add a little bling. I know it doesn't really go with the truck, but you know what? It's okay. It's a cute truck. And then when I'm done, I'm going to take my dimensionals, pop those on the back of my truck. See how the tree bled through? It's not going to show though once I get this on here. Take my dimensional pieces away, and I'm going to pop this right on here. And I actually like the red one more than I did the blue. You know, honestly, we don't. We had a little bit on the ground, but we don't. But if you drive about a half an hour north, they do. So we got rain all day yesterday and a little bit this morning, so we don't have any snow yet. Isn't that fun? And it's really a different looking card than just, you know, here's a card. The red does. I love the red. And Bert's truck is red, so. He did have a blue one in the middle, though. He's had a red truck forever. And the red highlight shows a little bit better. This was, which blue did I use? This was Peacock. is this one. And I like it, but it's harder to see the light and the dark of that one. The red one, it does show really well the shading a little bit better. All right, so that is this week's Fancy Fold card. I will show it to you in a different makeup of paper, and you'll see that you can make it look really different depending on what you put in your highlighted area. Have a great night, you guys. We'll see you all again soon. If you have any questions, be sure to drop me a note. You can find me at caramiller.com, and you'll also see the link to all the shopping and all the things there. Talk to you soon. Bye.